Things are getting interesting here in Kaisersalutern, and I mean that in the Chinese curse sort of way. In addition to having one of the tougher Champions League groups out there, now we're dealing with injuries, and we're coming to a run of games in the Bundesliga where we're facing some top teams as well. Now, the good news is, I didn't realize we had a 13-game winning streak. The bad news is, I didn't realize we had a 13-game winning streak until we actually lost a game. So, we'll take a look at that here in just a second. My name's FM21, and this is the Red Devils Rising. Tight hamstring, he's out for a couple of days. I suspect that's going to be a reoccurring issue with him. He seems to have leg problems every year. Jamie Bino Gittins sprained his ankle ligaments. He's out another 2 weeks. This happened 2 weeks ago. Mike Kraus had a sports hernia, and he was out for a little while as well. We've had some other niggling injuries as well, the 3 to 5 day variety, that have kind of taken players out of match fitness. We've had a decent run of games and some really good results, and we got absolutely FM'd in one game. But against Cologne, we beat them 2-1 thanks to goals by Swiderski and Felipe. PSG, we held to a draw. Decker was absolutely on his A game. Finished the game with an 8.5, had a player of the match. They had 23 shots, 8 on target. We had 7 and 3. Their XG was 2.29, and they ended up with nothing. This was an interesting game because they definitely had their chances, but in the second half, they kind of just really pulled back a little bit. It doesn't look like it because they had 13 shots in the second half as compared to 10 in the first, but there were hardly any highlights. However, the highlights that there were mostly involved Decker making a nice save. Against Hertha, we lost. This was where we lost our 13-game winning streak going back to last season. Hertha's a tough squad. They had 11 shots, 6 on target. The fact that we played them 3 days after playing PSG, we had 2 shots, 1 on target with a fairly rotated side, actually. Lozino and Felipe in the midfield were playing different positions than usual. Swiderski was at defensive left back. The guys just did not have a good game. Sutherland was on a 6-1, Bernat on a 6-2, Bloom was 6-1, Thiel was 6-5. The fact that Hertha only scored 1, I think, is a gift, to be honest with you. They could have scored a lot more. They probably should have scored a lot more. And then against Werder, we got absolutely FM'd. This was a very back-and-forth game. They had 16 shots, 9 on target. We had 9 and 7. We were a lot better technically in front of the goal. Swiderski scored in the 88th minute to put us ahead. I really thought we had it, and Liram Castrati had a 91st minute goal to claw the draw back for them. They had a lot of players who had a really good game. We had a lot of players who were essentially just average. And that's a recipe for not success. And that's what this definitely is not success. It's not a loss, but despite Swiderski's best efforts, and he had a quality performance, we couldn't hold the victory. So today, we're playing Armenia Bielfield in the Bundesliga, and then we're playing Zenit. Bielfield's a good squad. They're 6th currently. Last season, they finished down near the bottom, but I think a lot of that was due to injuries, and they had some good moves this offseason, if I remember correctly. I was looking through the teams to see who they brought in, and I remember a couple of them had some really nice moves. Yeah, they brought in Davidov on a player exchange, which is something this is a move you rarely see in Football Manager. They exchanged Mark Davidov with VfB Stuttgart in returns for Bright Armabi and 9 million euros. And Lee Jae-hong is a solid defensive right back. They've jumped up. They've surprised a lot of people this year. I think a lot of teams were expecting maybe a bottom-of-the-table performance from them, and frankly, it's early enough in the season they could end up there, but for the moment, they're currently in 6th. They're giving a good accounting of themselves. So we've definitely got our work cut out for us. So what I'm going to do is double-check the reserves, set the best 11, and we're going to come back with our match against Bielefeld in just a bit. Well, this is the team we're playing today. We've got Decker in goal, Jesus, Wiesner, Carrillo, and Thiel as the defensive back 4, Lozino and Felipe as the midfielders, Bloom and Bernat as the attacking midfielders, Sutherland and Schmidt up top as the strikers. Sutherland has not had great performances lately, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if he's just not fitting in with the team or the position's uncomfortable for him. It really shouldn't be. But we'll take a look here after the match and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Davidov gets the ball to Mathé. He drops it back to Diallo, over to Anderson, back to Diallo, up to Ajay Brony, back to Anderson, Diallo to Davidov, Anderson to Dashner, over to Davidov. He gets it to Schneider. Dashner and Anderson are playing back and forth. Matheny breaks left and takes the shot. It was a nice pass to get the ball to him, but he pushed it too far left, hit the post, and it went out. According to the analyst, Burnett from outside the box curls it in. Wiesner's there, and he heads it in for the goal. That was nice. A very good back post cross from the penalty kick by Burnett. Wiesner just skies up over Schneider and puts it in the back of the net. Anyhow, according to the analysts, we're two very similar teams. We play similar styles on offense and defense. Frankly, I think the only thing different between us at the moment is the formation we play. Jesus. I don't know what happened there, but the ball ended up at Bonali's feet. He got it up to Ajay Brony. Back to Anderson. Long pass towards Mathé. One-on-one with Decker, and he puts it past him for the equalizer. It's a nice long pass for the assist. Yeah, Decker came too far over. Tried making the save, but I'm not going to say that was a misplay on his part, but I think he could have done better. Fest towards Mathé. Thiel, however, well, it gets ahead on it, but it goes right to Mathé. Diallo to Anderson. Back to Mathé. Gets by the one defender. Drops the ball off to Davidov. Gets the ball back to Diallo. Schneider on the left. Back to Diallo. To Anderson. Davidov to Dashner. Sitting between. Oh, wow, what a shot. He was sitting in the gap between the defenders, got the ball, turned around, and just powered a shot past Decker. I don't think that was an error on Wiesner's part. Wiesner was playing where he was supposed to play. They just exploited the gap. We're going into half here, down a goal, thanks to goals by Mathé and Dashner for Bielfield. Statistically, we've been the better team. 7 shots, 5 on target. They've had 5 and 3. Burnett actually leads us with goals for the moment with 5, I want to say. It could be 6, but I'm almost positive it's 5. I think, hindsight being 2020, keeping him over Zivkak is the right thing to do. We're going to get Ojeda on for Sutherland. About 65 minutes in, we're going to make a couple of changes here. Well, Zeno's not having the best game. We're going to bring Matty on for him. Bloom is not having the best game, and I'm still a little thin at defensive left back because of injuries. So we're going to move Schmidt over defensive left back. Good grief, Jellicoe. Advanced midfielder on the left. So we're going to move Schmidt over to take that position, bring on Ojeda to take Schmidt's place up top at the striker. Diallo on the throne for Bielfield. Dashner over to Mathé. Up to Diallo. I can't even pronounce that. Merkachian? Jeez. Lee Jae-hong. Right side of the box. Anderson. Matty dispossesses him, but the ball goes to Lee Jae-hong. Oh, he gives the ball away. Ojeda. He tried sending it back to Bonali, but Ojeda stepped in front of him. And Ojeda, he did not have any help whatsoever. He didn't hold up for any help, and he took a really weak shot. That was poor. Come on, guys. No, we're not going to do it. Well, 2 very nice first half goals by Bielfield gives them the victory. We ended up with 13 shots, 7 on target. They ended up with 8 and 6. We had our chances. That Ojeda had a chance at the end, but it was just... He was too far away from support. It was 1v4. He took the shot he could, and it was just not good. It's 2 losses in a row. It's been a while since we've had 2 losses in a row. So the assistant to the press conference. Yeah, Burnett leads us with 5 goals and 7.6 rating. Also has 5 assists. Decker and Burnett each also have 2 Players of the Match awards. So we've got Zenit coming up next in our Champions League group. So far they're behind us because we got the draw with PSG. So if we do well against them, we have a chance. So what I'm going to do is save the game here once this processes, and then we're going to come back for our Champions League match against Zenit in just a bit. Zenit's a good squad. They've won the Russian Premier League every year except one since I've started this save. They got some quality players. The fact that they're in the same group as we are against Barcelona and PSG isn't really... That's more bad luck than anything else. I think if they'd been in another group, they'd be at least pegged to go up to the next stage. As it is, us and Zenit are fighting it out for the third place spot. So we really need a victory today. That would be nice. So this is the team we're using. We got Decker in goal, Wiesner, Dressel, Carrillo, and Thiel as the defensive back four. Lazino and Felipe as the midfielders. Bloom and Burnett up top as the attacking midfielders. Sutherland and Schmidt as the strikers. Oh, we're going to look at Sutherland real quick. So he's definitely improving with the training and everything. He's a very good pressing forward and target man. I'm playing him as a pressing forward, and one time I toyed with the idea of playing him as a complete forward. His form is just... We sort by date here. He started out really well, and then at this Cologne game, it hasn't really recovered. He did good against Werder. He had 2 assists in the Werder match. And then he kind of fell off again against Bielfield. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's not playing him at a target man. I think playing him as a pressing forward suits the formation well. It helps uncover Schmidt. Although, to be honest, Schmidt hasn't been doing so great either. The fact that Burnett is our leading scorer and our leading assist guy speaks volumes as to how the forwards have not been able to gel yet. A lot of that is due to, youth, because Schmidt's only 17, and McCauley is new to the team. So, to be honest with you, I don't know that having Ojeda starting would be better. I could always bring Arja back from loan, but I don't think that would be an improvement either. So, this is the hand I've dealt myself, and this is what we're going with. Shalov, Malang Sar, Vieira, Zergova, some good quality players there. Safanov gets the ball to Lowen, up to Zergova. He cuts inside. Lazino takes the ball away from him. Felipe over to Burnett. To Schmidt, he feeds Sutherland. Sutherland takes the shot. He scores. His first of the season. Maybe that's what I need to do is talk him up or look at him before every game and he'll score. That was nice. Schmidt, Sutherland just found the gap between the two central defenders. Schmidt, a very nice assist. Vieira with the corner kick in. Kilman's there and it's off the crossbar and in. They equalize not too long after. The guy at the post really didn't do much of anything. Calderon with the throw-in to Sar. Back to Calderon, he crosses it in, but Zargova can't get the handle on it. Bakayev gets it to Vieira, out to Golov, Calderon on the left. Baseline, he centers it in, knocked away, goes out of bounds for the Zenit throw-in. Felipe, from distance, in the crowd, Safanov jumps up and grabs that before Burnett can get there. He throws it down towards Chalov. Wiesner knocks it down, but it goes right to Sar. Felipe dispossesses him, but Vieira's going to end up with the ball. And Vieira takes a shot, but it goes right at Decker. That was an interesting choice. Banikov to Vieira. Over to Golovin. Long pass towards Sar. Thiel knocks it away, but it goes right to Kilman. I'm not sure what Schmidt was doing, but he couldn't figure out what to do. Sar gets the pass, and he scores. Calderon, a very nice assist. I think Schmidt's a bit confused. Is he covering the 23 or is he covering the guy with the ball? If he moved over to cover the guy with the ball, he could have maybe forced him to make a bad pass or put a little bit more pressure on him, but that was just poor defensive play right there. Carrillo wasn't even following the ball, he was following the player. Banikoff on the throw-in. Loses it, but Bakayev gets it back, and he scores from distance. Good gracious. What a strike. Felipe, the very nice slide tackle to block it out of the way, but Bakayev saw the opening and just absolutely hammered it home. Felipe gets to Lozino, over to Bernat, to Thiel, back to Bernat, Schmidt, Lozino from distance. Safanov makes the stop. I think it would have been going out of bounds anyways, but Lowen to Banikoff. Back to Lowen, over to Golovin, out towards Zergova. He centers the ball back to Golovin, out to Sar. Drops the ball off to Calderon, gets it back to Golovin near midfield. Across the field to Bakayev, out to Calderon, all alone on the left. Baseline, centers it. Vieira can't get the handle on it. Lozino to Bernat. And that's the highlight right before the half. There doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground for us. Defensively, we're either really, really good or really, really bad. They've had 8 shots and 6. We've had 5 and 3. Come on, guys, let's turn it up. Thiel on the throw-in. Bernat tries getting it into Bloom, but it's knocked away. Zergrova's going to run it down. What the hell? What the hell is Dressel doing? He moves towards him, then he runs away from him. Is that a match engine thing, or is that Dressel just playing like an idiot? The answer is probably yes. Bloom crosses it in. Lowen gets a head on it. Bangs it forward to Sar. Sar driving forward. Left side of the box. Zergova off the post. Thiel just knocks that out of bounds. We're going to make a couple of changes here in a minute. Lozino. Long pass to Wiesner. Gets it to Bloom. Back out to Wiesner. He gets it to Bloom, who tries crossing it in, but he bounces it off a Zenit player. Lozino's going to run down the ball. Gets it out to Thiel on the right. Centers it to Bernat. Bernat tries crossing it in, bounces it off a Zenit player again. Bloom takes the shot, and he pushes it just wide right. We're going to get Felipe off, bring on Matty. We're going to get Lozino off, bring on Swiderski. We're going to get Dressel off, bring on Lucas Kuhns. Kilman up to Calderon. He centers it to Bakayev, feeds Shalov, back to Vieira, to Bakayev. Over to Zagrova, out to Banikoff on the right. He holds it up, gets it to Vieira. Bakayev to Chalov. Zagrova takes the shot. Decker went one way, then had to change direction on a dime and went the other way. Luckily, it was wide. Too many players having bad games. Wiesner to Sutherland. Back to Matty. Kuhns. I have no idea what that was. Safanov just rolls it out to Calderon quickly after getting the ball. Schular. Cuts inside, gets the ball to Vieira. Wiesner steps in front of his pass. Sutherland runs up and grabs it, gets the ball to Bloom. Bloom cuts outside, cuts back in, gives the ball away. Vieira gets it to Sar. Shalov rounds one defender, gets it back to Sar. Out to Banikoff on the right. Banikoff crosses it in. Chalov's there. Decker made a nice save. The ball went out. Thiel stepped in front of Scholar. Looked like it could have been a foul, but I think we got lucky there. Vieira, since the corner kick in, it's knocked away. He runs it down. Gets the ball out to Kilman, to Golovin. And the highlight ends. Decker. Over to Carrillo. Out to Bernat. He's dispossessed, but the ball goes to Matty, who gets the ball to Thiel on the right. He centers it in. Sutherland's there, but he heads it over the crossbar. Wiesner to Matty. Swiderski gets the ball to Sutherland. Schmidt tries speeding Bernat, but the ball bounces off the Zenit player, goes right at Sutherland's feet, and he gets a second goal of the game. Who did that come off of? Swiderski got the ball to Sutherland. He fed Schmidt. Calderon stepped in front of it, but the ball went right to Sutherland. Although I'd like to think if the ball had gotten to Bernat, Bernat would have scored as well. Can we get one more before the end of the game? Survey says probably not. Banikoff. Swiderski to Zubin to Golovin. Feeds Vieira to Chaloff, and he pushes it wide left. Wow, that was a lucky break. And we lose 4-2. Zenit had 20 shots, 12 on target. We had 11 and 6. Sutherland, a brace of goals to get him off the scoring schneid. That's good, but it wasn't enough. Barcelona beat PSG. And we are going to come back for Barcelona, Eintracht Frankfurt. We're going to skip the Paderborn game in the middle because it's only a week between those two games. So, short break. We're going to play Leipzig and Augsburg offline, and we'll be back in the next episode, which I'm probably going to record here in about a half hour. So, it's two not very good games. Bielfield did a good job against us, and our form these last 5 games has just fallen off. I don't believe it's due to the number of games we're playing. We've played those number of games before. I think some of it's the team youth. Some of it is the fact that maybe we are playing a bunch of games. But, we should have won that Werder game, but we didn't. And we could have done better against Bielfield and Zenit. But, we'll turn it around. We're doing okay. I wasn't expecting big things from us in the Champions League, especially once I saw the group. But we still got a chance to finish third. So, the fact that we're now competing for third with PSG doesn't bode well for our chances, but we're going to keep it competitive. We're going to give it our best shot. Unfortunately, our best shot for the moment seems to be falling short. That said, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM Jellico, and I thank you for watching.